Following the defeat in Colenso, Buller decides to outflank the Boer positions by crossing the Tugela River using pontoon bridges to facilitate the crossing. Once across, the British forces camped under the steep slopes of a dramatic, conspicuous mountain, setting the stage for the bloodiest battle of the war, Spionkop. Major General Buller delegated control of his main force to General Sir Charles Warren. On the night of the 23rd of January, Warren sent part of his force to secure Spionkop, a rocky outcrop nearly 40 kilometers from Ladysmith and the highest vantage point in the area.
Major General Alexander Thornycroft was appointed to lead the initial assault of 1,700 men. The British crossed the Tugela and climbed up the hill from the south at night and in dense mist.
They surprised a small group of 15 Boer lookouts and drove them off the Kop at gunpoint. One Boer was killed, and his grave lies on the hill to this day. 10 British soldiers were wounded in the charge.
The surviving Boers retreated down the hill on the northern side of their camp, waking up their fellow men by screaming, "Die Engelse is op die kop!" The English are on the hill.
And Woodgate, the officer in charge, notified Warren of the successful capture of the hill. As dawn broke on the 24th of January and the heavy mist lifted, to their horror, the British discovered they held only the smaller and lower part of the hilltop of Spionkop, while the Boers occupied higher ground on 3 sides of their position.
The Boer artillery began to bombard the British position, dropping shells from the adjacent plateau of Kwatabamnyama at a rate of 10 rounds per minute.
10 rounds per minute. Imagine how terrifying the situation is at this stage and how desperate the men under fire would have been. Meanwhile, Commandant Hendrik Frederick Prinsloo of the Carolina Commando stormed Spionkop from the north with 88 men. The Pretoria Commando of around 300 burghers climbed the Kop to force a frontal assault on the British position.
Prinsloo told his men, "We're now going in to attack the enemy, and we shan't all be coming back. Do your duty and trust in the Lord." Minutes later, hundreds of Boers swarmed in to attack the British positions at the crestline of Spionkop.
Both sides exchanged fire at close quarters and engaged in brutal hand-to-hand combat. The Boers' initial assault carried the crest line, but after suffering serious casualties, they could advance no further.
It was basically a bloodbath that resulted in a stalemate. The Boers had failed to drive the British from the Kop, but the remaining soldiers from the Pretoria and Carolina Commando now held a line of fire on Allo Knoll, where they could snipe at the British from the side.
At this stage, the British were also being continuously bombarded by Boer artillery. Morale began to sag on both sides as the extreme heat, exhaustion, and thirst took hold.